Let's be brutally honest. Every man has a moment when he finally walks away, not out of anger, not out of pride, but out of exhaustion. And what's haunting is how that silence becomes the loudest thing she's ever heard. At first, she doesn't notice. Your absence feels like a temporary inconvenience, not a loss. She thinks you'll text again. She believes you'll chase again. Because in her mind, you always did. You were predictable in your devotion, reliable in your forgiveness. But here's the truth that most women never see until it's too late. The man who truly loved them, the one they thought they could replace, was the only one who ever actually understood them. See, when a woman takes a man for granted, she's not doing it consciously. She doesn't wake up thinking, I'm going to ignore him today. No, it's deeper. It's psychological. It's the quiet comfort of knowing you'll still be there tomorrow, no matter how she treats you today. That comfort breeds complacency, and complacency kills admiration faster than betrayal ever could. You start noticing it first. The small things. Her replies get shorter, her tone colder. The way she used to look at you, that softness in her eyes, it's gone. She's distracted, distant, busy. You start overcompensating. You try harder. You plan dates. You text first. You apologize even when you weren't wrong, because you think love is about effort. But effort, when it's one-sided, becomes desperation. And here's the cruel irony. The more you chase her attention, the more she loses respect for you. Not because she's evil, but because feminine psychology is wired to test strength. When a woman senses a man is emotionally dependent on her, she stops seeing him as a leader and starts seeing him as a follower. And once that mental shift happens, attraction fades. But you know what happens next? When that man, the one who gave her everything, finally stops trying, she starts feeling something she hasn't felt in a long time. Unease, doubt, fear. At first, it's confusion. She checks her phone, waiting for your name to pop up. Nothing. She posts something just to see if you'll react. You don't. She scrolls through her camera roll and finds photos of you, smiling, holding her hand, loving her like she was your world. Suddenly, nostalgia hits her like a punch in the chest. That's when the regret begins to form, quietly, slowly, painfully. Because for the first time, she's not the one being pursued. She's the one being forgotten. And nothing terrifies a woman more than realizing the man she thought she could always return to has moved on without her. You see, the female mind has a powerful self-correcting mechanism. It starts to romanticize the past when she feels the loss of control. She remembers your kindness, your loyalty, your consistency, but she forgets how she took those things for granted. Now, every man she meets after you feels colder, emptier, less patient, and she starts comparing. He doesn't listen the way you did. He doesn't care the way you did. That's when regret transforms into longing. She might not show it. She might post pictures like she's happy, but her mind replays every moment she dismissed you, every text she ignored, every time you looked at her with love and she gave you indifference in return. And it starts to eat at her, quietly, like a slow emotional poison. You see, men think women regret losing love. But that's not it. Women regret losing emotional security, the rare feeling of being seen and adored by a man who had options, yet chose her. When she realizes you could have anyone, but you once wanted her, and now you don't, that's when her ego cracks. And behind that ego, there's a heart whispering, I made a mistake. But by then, it's too late, because you've changed. Pain reshapes men in ways most women never anticipate. You learn to set boundaries. You learn to walk away from disrespect. You learn that peace is more valuable than attention. And your silence, the same silence that once felt like punishment, becomes your power. Now she watches from a distance, pretending not to care while secretly hoping you'll come back. But you won't. Because once a man wakes up to his worth, he never chases validation again. He attracts respect. And that's the moment she truly regrets losing you. Not when you begged, not when you tried, but when you finally stopped explaining yourself. Because nothing haunts a woman more than the man she misjudged, who rose higher without her. This is the reality she never expected. The man she took for granted has become the man every other woman now notices. And deep down, she knows she'll never get that version of you again. Question for you. When a woman finally realized your silence meant you were gone for good, did she try to come back, or did you let her fade into your past? Share your story in the comments below, because your experience might help another man wake up tonight. If this message hit deep, like the video, subscribe for more psychological truths about women, and share this with a friend who needs to hear it before he makes the same mistake. You know what's fascinating about regret? It doesn't hit her all at once. It creeps in quietly, at moments she least expects. It's not when she's out partying or posting selfies. It's when the noise fades, when she's alone, lying in bed, scrolling through her messages, realizing the one name that used to light up her phone no longer does. That's when her mind turns on her. At first, she tells herself she's fine, that you were just another guy, that she's focusing on herself. But the mind has a funny way of exposing lies, especially when it starts comparing what it lost to what it settled for. She'll go on dates, but they feel empty. The men she meets are physically there, but emotionally absent. They don't ask about her dreams. They don't notice the small things you used to. They don't make her laugh the same way. And slowly, she begins to feel it, the emotional gap between what she had and what she has now. That's when the memories start haunting her. She remembers the night you stayed up with her when she was breaking down, the way you supported her even when she doubted herself, the way you listened, not just to respond, but to understand. You were her peace. But peace doesn't seem exciting until chaos replaces it. And now, every man who walks into her life feels like noise compared to your silence. She starts checking your social media more often, not because she wants to talk, but because she wants to feel close to you again. She looks for signs that you're still the same, but you've changed. Your energy feels different. You're focused, confident. You've started hitting the gym, leveling up, moving forward. And that unsettles her, because deep down, she thought you'd always be waiting. That's the twist she never saw coming. The version of you that she ignored has become the version other women now want. And suddenly, she's the one chasing a ghost, a man who's emotionally gone. But here's what few men realize. When a woman regrets losing you, she doesn't come back to love you. She comes back to heal her ego. She wants to confirm she still matters. She'll text you, not out of love, but out of curiosity. Hey, how have you been? Simple words, but loaded with intent. She wants to know if she still has access to your emotions, because if she does, it means she still has control. This is where most men fail the final test. You respond. You open the door she once slammed shut. You think maybe she's changed, but she hasn't, not yet. Because regret and remorse are not the same thing. Regret is missing what you lost. Remorse is understanding why you lost it. Until she understands the why, she'll keep repeating the same cycle. And if you let her back in too soon, she'll lose respect for you all over again. Why? Because deep down, she knows she didn't earn your forgiveness. She was given it freely, and what's freely given is rarely valued. The man she regrets losing isn't just the one who loved her. It's the one who stopped chasing validation, the one who learned that walking away isn't weakness, it's wisdom. Because the moment you stop trying to prove your worth to someone who couldn't see it, you become the kind of man she finally recognizes as high value. There's a shift that happens inside you, a calm detachment. You stop trying to make her understand how much you cared. You stop replaying the past in your mind. You stop checking her page, stop wondering who she's with. You just live, you build, you focus, and your silence starts to speak louder than your pain ever did. And it's in that silence that her regret grows the loudest. She begins to realize something no one ever told her, that the man who once texted her "good morning" every day no longer thinks of her at all. That the man who would have moved mountains for her won't even move his thumb to reply now. That's the moment her heart breaks. Not because she lost love, but because she lost the one person who saw her clearly, and still chose her anyway. What eats her alive isn't the breakup. It's the replacement. Watching you smile again, watching other women notice you, watching you become the man she never believed you could be. That's what stings. Because now she has to face the truth. She didn't lose a man, she lost a protector, a provider, a dream. And maybe she'll never say it out loud, but deep inside, she knows. She had her chance, and she blew it. That's when she starts trying to reconnect, even subtly. A like here, a comment there, a random memory she brings up just to spark something. But you've already learned, real strength isn't in reacting, it's in staying silent. Because silence doesn't just confuse her, it forces her to confront the consequences of her choices. See, when you loved her, she had power. When you walked away, you became the power. And the moment she realizes that, she'll finally understand what real loss feels like. Question for you. If she reached out today, not because she missed you, but because she missed control, would you answer? Or would you finally protect your peace? Drop your truth in the comments below. Your story could wake up another man tonight. If this message hit hard, like the video, subscribe for more real talk about women and male psychology, and share it with a friend who needs to hear this before he lets her back in too soon. Here's what most men never realize until it's too late. Regret doesn't begin when she loses you. It begins when she sees you've healed, because as long as you were broken, she still felt superior. As long as you were chasing, apologizing, waiting, she still had power. But when you stopped caring, when your energy shifted from needing her to focusing on yourself, that's when the roles reversed. See, women are deeply emotional creatures, but their emotions are tied to perception. The way they see you determines how they feel about you. When she saw you begging, she saw weakness. When she sees you detached, she sees mystery. And mystery reignites attraction in ways logic never could. She starts wondering, who's giving him that confidence now? Who's making him smile? She becomes curious, then jealous, then desperate to feel relevant again. That's the hidden side of female psychology, the fear of emotional irrelevance. She doesn't want you, but she doesn't want you not wanting her either. It's a control game masked as nostalgia, so she'll test the waters. A message, a memory, a song that reminded her of you. And if you respond with warmth, she feels relief, not love. But if you respond with silence, something far more powerful happens. Her mind starts romanticizing you. She remembers moments she ignored, the late-night conversations, the little things you did without expecting anything back, the safety she felt in your presence. It all starts replaying like scenes from a movie she can't pause. But this time, you're not the hero in her story. You're the lesson she can't unlearn. Because here's the truth no one tells you. Women don't regret losing you. They regret losing the version of themselves that existed when you loved them. You brought out their softness, their femininity, their calm. You made them feel safe enough to be vulnerable. And when you left, that version of them disappeared too. That's why she keeps orbiting around your memory. It's not just about you. It's about who she was when you were in her life. And the more you grow, the harder it gets for her to cope. Because now she sees the version of you she always said she wanted, just not with her. That realization burns. She'll replay your old conversations in her head, wondering if you ever truly cared. She'll scroll through her photos, trying to find evidence that maybe she meant something to you. But the truth will hit her like cold water. You did care, but she pushed you too far. And here's what makes regret so cruel. It has perfect timing. It always comes when you've already moved on, when you've finally found your peace, when you've outgrown the version of you that needed her validation. That's when she remembers everything. That's when she realizes what she destroyed. She'll talk to her friends about you, subtly at first. He was such a good guy. I just wasn't ready. But those words aren't closure. They're confessions. Because deep down, she knows she didn't lose you by accident. She lost you by choice. And no matter how much time passes, she'll never escape that truth. You see, regret isn't just emotional. It's spiritual. It's the echo of a soul recognizing its mistake. And once a woman feels that kind of regret, no amount of attention, validation, or new relationships will erase it. Every time a new man fails to match your energy, her mind will whisper, "He's not him." Every time she feels unseen or unappreciated, she'll remember how you looked at her. Every time she gets ghosted or disrespected, she'll remember the man who never did. And maybe one night she'll type out a long message. Something like, "I just wanted to say I'm sorry for how things ended." But you'll read it differently now. You'll feel nothing, because healing doesn't mean you forget. It means you outgrow the need for closure. You'll smile, put your phone down, and realize you finally became the man you were always meant to be. And that's the part that breaks her completely. When she realizes you're no longer bitter, just indifferent. Because indifference is the final stage of detachment. It's the moment she understands she can't hurt you anymore. And that's when regret turns into grief. She's not grieving you as a man. She's grieving the power she once had over you. She's mourning the version of you that used to wait by the phone, that used to fight for her. But that man is gone. You buried him the day you chose peace over chaos. And the man standing now? He's not chasing love. He's attracting it. This is the part no one talks about. When you stop chasing her, you start attracting a better world. People respect you more. Women notice your energy shift. Opportunities appear because peace is magnetic, and your silence becomes louder than any words you could have said. So when she finally reaches that point of regret, when her pride cracks, when she sends that "I miss you" text, remember this: you don't owe her a response because she's not reaching out for love. She's reaching out to escape the pain of her own reflection. And your job as a man is not to rescue her from that feeling. It's to let her face it, because it's the only way she'll grow. The same way you had to. Question for you: if she saw the man you've become now, calm, confident, unbothered, and begged for another chance, would you believe her words or trust her past? Share your thoughts in the comments. Your story could be the reality check another man needs tonight. If this message resonated, like the video, subscribe for more deep truths about female psychology and self-worth, and share it with a brother who needs to remember why walking away was the best thing he ever did. Here's the part no one tells you about regret. It doesn't end when she misses you. It ends when she realizes you no longer miss her. That's when everything she took for granted starts replaying in her mind like a cruel movie she can't turn off. She remembers your patience, your consistency, your loyalty. But this time, those memories don't comfort her. They haunt her, because they're reminders of something she can never get back. And what's even more painful, watching you become the man she always wanted, just not for her. She sees you growing, leveling up, radiating a peace she never gave you. You look healthier, happier. Your silence has matured into strength. And for the first time, she understands the truth. She wasn't the one who changed you. Losing her did. That's when the mask starts to crack. She'll say she's over you, but she'll still check your page. She'll still ask mutual friends about you. She'll still feel a sting every time she hears your name. Because the woman who once made you question your worth now questions hers. But let's be honest, her regret isn't really about love, it's about realization. The realization that she had something rare and mistook it for ordinary. That she was loved by a man who actually meant it. That while she was busy chasing validation, you were giving her security. And now she's out in a world full of temporary attention, wishing she could go back to the stability she once rolled her eyes at. See, most people don't understand this. Real love doesn't die in explosions. It dies in silence, through neglect, disrespect, and small moments that tell you she stopped caring. You noticed it before she did. You felt the distance, but you stayed, thinking she'd come back around, but she didn't. Because in that moment, she believed you always would. And then one day, you didn't. You stopped trying. You stopped explaining. You stopped chasing. And that's when everything changed. Because the moment a good man stops giving energy to a woman who doesn't appreciate it, her reality starts to collapse. Now every time she meets a new guy, she compares him to you. Not because you were perfect, but because you were present. You showed up. You gave effort. You made her feel like she mattered. And every man who follows will feel like a downgrade because you raised the standard. And the irony? She'll start acting like the woman she should have been for you with the next man, thinking maybe this time she won't lose him too. But no matter how hard she tries, something will always feel off, because the kind of peace she had with you can't be replicated. It was earned, and she didn't value it until it was gone. But here's where your story changes. Because while she's stuck reliving the past, you've learned to embrace the future. You're not bitter anymore. You don't need revenge. You don't need closure. You've outgrown the version of you that depended on her affection to feel worthy. You've discovered something far greater: self-respect. That's the one thing no woman can take, and every man must build. It's the quiet confidence that says, I don't chase love. I attract it by becoming who I was meant to be. And that's the real transformation she never saw coming. You didn't just move on, you evolved. You started building your purpose. You redirected your energy into growth, into your craft, into your peace. You became harder to read, harder to reach, harder to forget. And deep down, she knows she created this version of you. The version that doesn't beg, the version that walks away, the version that learned that sometimes silence is the most powerful form of communication, because silence tells her everything she refused to hear when you spoke. It tells her you're done explaining, done chasing, done waiting, and the man who once loved her unconditionally now only gives energy where it's respected. That's what makes her regret cut so deep, because you didn't get revenge, you got better. You didn't replace her with noise, you replaced her with peace. You didn't prove her wrong with words, you proved her wrong with transformation. And that transformation is something she'll never escape. There's a certain beauty in watching everything that once broke you build you. You realize she was never your loss, she was your lesson. A painful, necessary reminder that love without respect is just emotional slavery. And now you're free. So if you ever wonder whether she regrets it, don't look at her words. Look at her silence. Look at the way she lingers around your world without entering it. Look at the way she still tries to provoke a reaction but gets none. That's her punishment. Living with the knowledge that you've become untouchable. Because the truth is, the man she once took for granted doesn't exist anymore. He evolved into someone she can't reach, can't manipulate, can't forget. You didn't lose her. She lost the chance to grow beside you. And when that realization finally hits her, when she's alone, scrolling through memories of what could have been, she'll whisper the words you once said to yourself. He deserved better. But this time, you'll be the one who actually believes it. Question for you. When you finally became the man she once doubted, did you wish she could see it? Or were you glad she couldn't touch it anymore? Drop your truth in the comments. Your story could be the reminder another man needs tonight. If this message hit deep, like the video, subscribe for more powerful insights into female psychology and masculine strength, and share this with a brother who's finally learning that walking away isn't weakness, it's evolution.